Hey, Dan.
It's the playoffs.
Oh, that's why we're dressed like this.
It is. We are showing up for work.
in the new era.
Week 14 for you fantasy football guys out there, and as we just stated, it is playoff time.
Cheers to that.
And pretend.
We should have got cigars like Vincent Barty and smoked them.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Just like a lot of you guys out there still sitting, a lot of these guys are telling you to pick up. But we're bringing it to you a little bit differently this week. This is breaking it up into 3 segments. This is part 1, stardoms. We'll get you sit-ems and sleepers later. But we'll jump right into this, go a little more into detail this week since we have a little more time.
It's a little more time-friendly for you guys. First of all, though, I just want to say this. These people playing the name games, Dan, are pissing me off. I went on a tirade about this earlier. I cannot understand why T.Y. Hilton is still 41% owned. Denario Alexander, who we will talk about more, is less than 30% of all owned in all ESPN formats. I just don't.
It doesn't make sense.
And you're still picking up the Dwayne Bowes, and you're still playing the Steve Smiths, Steve Smith came through finally. You're still playing the Eric Deckers, which, I don't know. I just don't. If you want to win, you can win.
Chances are we're talking about playoffs this week. Chances are if you are still playing with that Dwayne Bowe, that Steve Smith, you probably didn't make it. But, if you, on the off chance you did listen to us.
That's the thing that drives me probably
the name game.
The most crazy is that we are in the playoffs now, and these are guys that are readily available, but still the playoff owners. Maybe the playoff owners are the 40%, but...
even if you're in the playoffs now, all these guys you have starting right now are not going to be there in the next few weeks.
Yeah, a lot of people who start now are obsolete come the championship round, but I just want to get that off my chest. I'm pissed off that you guys are still doing the name game. I tweeted this earlier this week. Philadelphia's defense, special teams, ranked 29th in the league overall in points among defenses. They own 57% of all leagues. The Chargers, ranked 8th, only owned in, I think 37% of all leagues. So, and that makes no sense to me. That's just name game, baby mama drama. But that's neither here nor there.
It's not what did you do for me last year. It's what are you doing for me now. But
it's just nonsense. It's just straight nonsense.
Yeah. But let's get you to the picks.
But they got to watch us so they're enlightened. So.
Yes. We got to get you guys some picks. You don't want to sit here and...
We're here for the people. We don't get paid to do this.
Who we think you guys should pick up and whatnot. If you listen to us, you listen to us. But we're going to get started here, I think.
All right.
We got a live tweet?
It might be. No, I didn't win something on eBay. All right, I'm going to go on my first one. Bryce Brown, and just like me and Trevor the Trash Man have been saying since week 1, it's not exactly the Philadelphia. LaShawn McCoy, I've been saying this for a while, was a system running back. That's why Bryce Brown is a top 10 running back right now. And if you can get him, he's still available in 25% of all leagues. He's not a sleeper, but if you have him, you got to start him this week. The guy has tore the roof off the fantasy game in the last 2 weeks, Dan.
I concur.
You got to start the guy if you have him. He's just a great fit. That offense, you get 20 to 30 touches.
Even he's low on the owner percentage.
I forget what his start percentage is still really low, like 35%. But 150 yards and 2 touchdowns each of the last 2 weeks. If you got him on the bench, like little Larry the Trash Guy was saying today, he's not going to watch. He was saying today that, should I start Bryce Brown? Dude, are you kidding me? You start Bryce Brown and you use him. He's probably going to be the first back to break 100 yards against Tampa Bay. Very tough matchup this week, but I still don't care. You got to start him this week. He's probably at least going to find a touchdown, come close to 100 yards, if not break it. Trent Richardson's proved it all year. You don't need to break the 100 yards barrier, but you get the touches, you get in the end zone, you produce the points, and that's what Bryce Brown does for you. So start him this week versus Tampa.
All right, moving on. Got Lance Moore here. I know he's typically hit or miss, but they're going up against the 30th ranked New York Giants defense, against the pass, there's 32 teams, 30th. You're not that good at it. But they've given up 17 touchdowns to receivers this year, and they actually average giving up 20 points a game to receivers, which is a pretty good number, especially when you're coming out. You got Lance Moore getting targeted from Drew Brees here quite often because nobody seems to be able to catch the ball over there.
He's got some mitts.
Yeah. And against the bottom half of the league, the pass D's Lance Moore actually averages over 10 points a game, and last game he had 12 points and he had 123 yards. I mean,
And that circus catch at the 50. Do you remember that? That was a very nice catch.
I have TV now. I can watch every game.
Yes, you do.
But like I said, Lance Moore, very good matchup this week against the bottom half. He's going to get you that 10 points or more that you need.
What's he owned in?
He's owned in less than 50, I believe. He is probably sleeper material.
Pick him up! He's not. Yeah, he's not owned in a lot of leagues. I know that. My next guy, Noshawn, the bench Moreno.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. I didn't want to say the other D word because we're trying to make this family friendly. We're trying to get Disney as a sponsor and Bud Light, in case you didn't know.
You can buy Bud Light at Disney, so it does go hand in hand.
Well, is Miley Cyrus going to do those pornos or what?
Whoa!
Each of the last 2 weeks, Noshawn Moreno over 20 carries exactly the last 2 weeks. This week, though, he's got a user-friendly game. If you ask Madden, Madden says hand the ball to Noshawn Moreno in this matchup. He's going to crack 100 yards in this game. And, oh yeah, did I mention Oakland's the second worst defense giving up points to opposing running backs? You got to start the guy. He's still kind of, I don't know if he's a hot pickup anymore because he doesn't have all the availability as he once did. A lot of people jumped on it early, which I did last week. I had him sitting on the bench, but I'm starting him this week. You got to ride that.
Good to hear. Oh, I'll stay in the same genre, if you will. Alfred Morris going up against Baltimore. Baltimore's got a suspect rush defense this week. They're all kinds of beat up, and you can... Alfred Morris back-to-back 100-yard games, and
Ed Reed says they're playing powder puff, I think.
Exactly. So if they're doing that, he's going to break quite a few tackles. Like I said, coming off back-to-back 100-yard games, he's going to beat up that already depleted Baltimore defense. I'm putting a staple in this one. This is my weekly staple, Chad.
This is your staple?
150 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Wow, you better trade for Alfred Morris if you still got no trade deadlines by everybody. He's tearing the hinges off of those staples. My next guy is Josh Freeman. Believe it or not, Dan, owned in 90% of all leagues, but only 18% of you guys have started him. He's not
sitting on him.
He's not like a great start week to week, but this week he is going against Philly, who allowed 7.8 yards per pass attempt, which is horrible. Expect a big week from Vincent Jackson. Expect a big week from Josh Freeman. Josh Freeman, this is a guy that's on the fray, that the quarterbacks still like to say. He's on that little tier of he could become elite someday.
But you also got to define what elite is. People still call Philip
Rivers
an elite quarterback.
No, here's what my favorite debate is. Is Eli Manning an elite quarterback? He's got 2 rings, but this year he's kind of less than that. Last year I would have said yes. This year, not so much. But he's got the 2 rings. But is Ben Roethlisberger elite? That's the same thing.
And then you can even go back further in time. Dan Marino has no rings, but he was considered an elite quarterback.
That's what I don't get. But to me, there's only really like 3 elite quarterbacks. Peyton, Brady, and me.
That rhymes with Drew Brees.
Right now, I don't know. Drew Brees. Aaron Rodgers is. So there's 4, I guess would be safe to say. Those are the only ones that I would be safe to say. But like Josh Freeman, he's like right on the cusp of being a top tier in this league quarterback. But this week, he's definitely a guy that I would start against that weak Oakland defense. They're on the road, which worries me a little bit of cross-country travel game. But I'd still look for him to at least rack up 25 points, 300 yards total. Big game. They're going to abuse that defense. Brandon Weeden had 364 yards against him.
He must be an elite quarterback.
I'm not talking bad about it. That was a great game, but if Brandon Weeden can do it, just think about what Josh Freeman and Vincent Jackson are going to do with Doug Martin at the.
That could be just an explosive game.
Yeah. Jamarcus Russell comes out of retirement.
Don't do it. Cam Newton.
I want that purple drink.
All right. C.J. Spiller. The guy, he is explosive, as we just talked about explosions. But 15 points last week. He's only been held below 10 points versus San Francisco, Houston, and New England. San Francisco and Houston, 2 of the best rush defenses in the league. And New England just has Buffalo's number. It doesn't even matter who's on the team or anything. They just
16-1.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
6 years, I think.
Yeah, but C.J. Spiller, he's going up against St. Louis this week. They have the 21st ranked rush defense. Spiller, big play back. You can see him going off for probably getting you another 15 to 18 points this week.
The big thing with me is that C.J. Spiller played, say, in Philadelphia. He would be the number one back in the whole league. He's a workhorse back he's just the workhorse back though that's splitting time with Fred Jackson. Fred Jackson's still getting 15 carries a game. Like last week, he had 15 carries, 70 yards. Chan Gailey's just he doesn't know what he's got. That's why they drafted the kid so high.
But as we said, this is part 1. We got 3 parts coming out this week.
View them all.
This is your stardoms. Listen to us. I mean, I'm in 8.
Unless you don't care about
playoffs
sit-ems
in 8 of 8 leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of know what I'm doing, but like I said, this is part 1. The Fantasy Staple on the Twitter. Follow us. Tell your friends about us. That's what we're here for. And we'll be back.
That's the end of part 1. We'll be back. The intermission.